एकदन्तं महाकायकं लम्बोदरं गजाननं विघ्ननाशकं वरदं देवं हेरम्बं प्रणमाम्यहम्। वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवो सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा शुभकार्येषु सर्वदा। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि। चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे, चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे। विघ्नेश्वर हे नाथ कृपानिधि, विघ्नेश्वर हे नाथ कृपानिधि। सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे, सकल विघ्न करो दूर हमारे। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि। जो भी ध्यावे नाम तिहारा, जो भी ध्यावे नाम तिहारा। उसका तुमने काज संवारा, उसका तुमने काज संवारा। मंगलकारी नाथ कलानिधि, मंगलकारी नाथ कलानिधि। भाव भगति से तुमको पुकारे, भाव भगति से तुमको पुकारे। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि। चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे, चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि। सिद्धेश्वर हे विद्यानिधि, हे सिद्धेश्वर हे विद्यानिधि, हर मुश्किल से तू ही उबारे, हर मुश्किल से तू ही उबारे। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे, चरण शरण हम लागे तिहारे। जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि, जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि।
Jai Shri Mataji, respected brothers and sisters from the global Sahaja family. Salam sejahtera dari Malaysia. Warm greetings from Malaysia. Before we start the session, as usual, let us keep our hands in the center of our heart and feel Shri Mataji's love and compassion. Let's also treasure our self-realization and count our blessings for the same. Now let's keep Shri Mataji's holy lotus feet in the core of our hearts, and with complete reverence, we'll pray. Param Puja Shri Mataji, we, your children from around the world, humbly seek your permission, blessings, guidance and protection to have this online meditation today. Srimataji, verily you are the doer, you are the enjoyer. We, your children, Srimataji, pay obeisance to you again and again for giving us this opportunity to worship your holy lotus feet collectively with all our brothers and sisters across the globe. Srimataji, we also pray that you will continue to bless us and our only desire, Srimataji, is to be one with you and ascend in our spirituality. We also seek your blessings, Srimataji, that we become a humble instrument of the divine. It is only you, Srimataji, who can make this happen for all of us, your children. Tonight, we are indeed blessed to have Sister Nina Taupade ji, a very interesting and experienced yogini from Navi, Mumbai. She's a teacher by profession. Sister Nina got her self-realization in Thailand in 1989, together with her family, her husband, our brother, Vilas, and her two children, Viraj and Mansi, along with their spouses and their children, are practicing Sahaja Yoga. Sister Nina is also blessed by Sri Mataji to be the principal of the ISPS, a very special school by Sri Mataji in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh. She was the head for many years and retired in 2013. So we will be listening to her experiences later on at the end of the session. But for now, let's put our hands together and welcome our sister Nina ji to conduct the session. Jai Shri Mataji. Sister Nina, over to you, please.
Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you, dear Maheshwari, for having me over. And a very, very big thanks to Param Pujya Shri Mataji for giving me this lovely Sahaj family. I'm absolutely delighted to be with all the Sahaj yogis, yoginis, seekers, some of whom I might have met earlier as parents or students of ISPS. Param Pujya Shri Mataji, we may all as well be in different parts of your Sahaj world, but please, please make us one in spirit. May all our kundalinis rise in unison and merge together in our sahasraras as we offer our prayers to you with complete faith and surrender. Let us all bow down, raise our kundalinis, and put ourselves in the powerful bandhan of Param Pujya Shri Mataji's divine love. Shri Mataji, I do nothing. Verily, you are the doer and you are the enjoyer. Therefore, Sri Mataji, by your grace, may our meditation today be easy and effortless, simple and spontaneous. Friends, today is a very special day, Kojagiri Purnima. It is the full moon between Dasara and Diwali, two of the most important festivals in India that venerate the Devi. Param Pujya Sri Mataji says that the moon is the spirit. Sri Shiva also wears the moon on his head. After getting realization, after reaching your Brahmarandra, you cross over your limbic area and then you go into Ardha Bindu. Ardha Bindu is the moon, she has said. So friends, at the end of today's meditation, we will try to meditate for a while on Ardha Bindu. Another significance of this special day, the Devi herself went around the entire universe asking, Ko Jagire, who is awake? Implying, who is awakened? Who is enlightened? Hence, it is important for all of us today to be awake, aware of ourselves as Param Pujya Sri Mataji's chosen ones, her darling children. It is important for us here to remind ourselves again, Sri Mataji, verily you are the doer and you are the enjoyer. Let's then proceed with the balancing. We will do so in verse, in song, but the experience of the vibrations is more important than the lyrics or the tune. The tune is very simple anyway. For the left side, left hand on the lap, right hand on Mother Earth. The deity of the left side is Sri Mahakali, as we all know. Sri Mahakali, Mahakali, power of desire. Sri Mahakali, Mahakali, power of desire. Please awaken in us and make us pure. Please awaken in us and make us pure. The Adi Bhumi Devi sucks away all the negativities of our left side. So, Shri Adi Bhumi Devi, Mother Earth. Shri Adi Bhumi Devi, we bow to you. Shri Adi Bhumi Devi, we bow to you. You give us food, clothes, and shelter too. You give us food, clothes, and shelter too. You cleanse our Ida, you do. You cleanse our Ida, you do. Right hand on the lap, left hand towards the sky, palm facing backwards. Shri Mahasaraswati, power of action. Shri Mahasaraswati, power of action. Please awaken in us and make us strong. Please awaken in us and make us strong. The Akasha Devata, the sky element. Shri Akash Devata, we bow to you. Shri Akash Devata, we bow to you. You make us one with the world you do. You make us one with the world you do. You cleanse our Pingala too. You cleanse our Pingala. Be true. Let us feel the heat going out into the sky element, into the ether. Shri Mataji, we give up all our thoughts and actions and surrender them at your lotus feet. Please calm us down. Please help us to experience silence in our minds, in our brain, in our heart. Param Puja Shri Mataji, please be in our heart, please be in our head, and please be in our attention. Both hands on the lap for the center channel. Shri Mahalakshmi, you are in the center. Shri Mahalakshmi, you are in the center. Please awaken in us, our Kundalini. Please awaken in us, our Kundalini. As we pray for the complete balance, let us try to feel the silence within us. And let us very humbly ask Param Puja Shri Mataji, Param Puja Shri Mataji, may the silence within us merge completely with the silence in the entire universe. Let us feel the silence for a few seconds without any thoughts. Let us experience without our effort. Let us experience what our Kundalini is doing. Where is she? Where does she want to go? Now, friends, we all know that the Mooladhara Chakra, the deity of Sri Ganesh, is the one who enlightens all chakras. Shri Mataji has mentioned that Sri Ganesha is the Vice Chancellor for all the chakras. Let us bring our attention to the Mooladhara Chakra very slowly, and let us say the Sri Ganesh mantra together. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Let us all together as one collective meditate on the 4 petals of the Mooladhara Chakra. The first petal that goes downwards towards Mother Earth. When Sri Ganesha enlightens it, we receive so many blessings: harmony, balance, chastity, innocence, auspiciousness. Let us humbly pray to Shri Mataji to give us all these qualities of Shri Ganesha on this first petal of the Muladhara Chakra. Focus on the Muladhara Chakra, the first petal that goes downwards. Let us not force our attention. Let the attention move spontaneously. Let us focus only on Shri Mataji and her lotus feet. The second petal, going towards the left side, dispels negativity. When Shri Mataji bestows strength and power in the second petal of the Muladhara, then by the power of Shri Ganesha, all negativity is dispelled completely. No negativity can come near us. Wherever we go, the negativity runs away. Complete focus on the left petal. Very slowly now, we bring our attention to the third petal, which is towards the right. This petal, when enlightened, gives us intuition, and this intuition becomes reality. It opens up the fourth dimension within us. Param Puja Shri Mataji, Shri Ganesha, please enlighten and awaken the third petal of the Muladhara Chakra within us. Attention completely on the Muladhara Chakra itself. The fourth petal rises towards the Sahasrara. When enlightened, it establishes dharma or righteousness within us. It makes us completely fearless, and it bestows upon us the collective consciousness. Attention on the fourth petal of the Muladhara Chakra, and we humbly ask Shri Ganesha, Shri Mataji, to enlighten this petal within us. Now let us listen to a bhajan, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha.
ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वाहा महागणपति देव नमः। श्री गणेशा जय श्री गणेशा, श्री गणेशा जय श्री गणेशा।
Slowly we raise our attention to our void, where reside the Sadgurus, our Guru Mata, Param Puja Shri Mataji. Param Puja Shri Mataji, please cleanse our void and reside forever and ever in our Bhavasagara and cleanse our Bhavasagara. Shri Mataji, by your divine grace, may the pure spirit within us be our Guru. Please make us our own Guru. Shri Mataji, you are our Guru Mata. Please, please come in our heart. Please reside in our hearts. Please establish your presence in our hearts. Mother, please come in my heart. Let me clean my heart so that you're there. Put your feet into my heart. Let your feet be worshipped in my heart. Let me not be in delusion. Take me away from illusion. Keep me in reality. Take away the sheen of superficiality. Let me enjoy your feet in my heart. Let me see your feet in my heart. Let me enjoy your feet in my heart. Let me see your feet in my heart, in my heart, in my heart, in my heart. Let us try to feel Shri Mataji's lotus feet in our hearts. So that we may feel ourselves as one spirit. With the same feeling, let us listen to Param Puja Shri Mataji's Amrit Vani. This is 1992, Barcelona, Spain. The Lakshmi Tattva. It's almost time for Diwali now. So we listen to the talk on the Lakshmi Tattva, followed by the Mahalakshmi Stotram.
Today we have gathered here to do Mahalakshmi Puja. Mahalakshmi principle is a very important principle within us. When in the countries or in the families or in individual lives, we find somebody must translate. I think it would be better because they don't. Come on. You may sit. Yeah, it's better. So this Mahalakshmi principle is the most important thing for our ascent. This principle is within us, but is not awakened before we have achieved a certain amount of situation where we find that we are not yet satisfied with our life. Like in the West now, you had blessings of the Lakshmi principle, in the sense there is affluence, people are all right, everybody has food and are sufficient in their every day-to-day life. But countries which are very poverty-stricken or who are in very bad shape, like you can see now Yugoslavia these days is like that, in a very bad shape, or a country, Somalia, which is very so poor, and they have no spiritual background either. So for them, this life is just meant for somehow or other to survive, just to survive. Like this is a life of crisis they have. They have still to exist with their lives. So it's a crisis for them. But in the affluent countries, it so happens that people start feeling that now we have got this money, we've got all the comfort of life, but still it's not giving us the joy of life. Like India is a country who has a spiritual background from the very beginning. And it's a yoga bhumi, and people know that you have to ascend. That's the thing you have to achieve. You don't have to tell an Indian that what is the aim of your life. He'll say that I want to achieve self-realization. They won't mind poverty or any kind of so-called dearth of things, because to them that's not so important. Its most important thing is that they have to get their moksha, they have to get their realization. That's the most important. So India was a country, was very rich once upon a time, and so many people invaded that country and it became poor. But
so what's the problem?
They still, despite all that, they still did not bother about what there is lost is lost. The most important thing is that their spirit is still intact, and that's what they have to find out, the spirit. But see, the politicians everywhere are funny. And you should never judge any country by the government, but by the common people. So they urge to find out new things and through science, or to go into other countries and invade and dominate. All that was there in the Western countries. Like Columbus went to America and killed so many people. Spanish killed so many people. But then after some years, we should say, people started thinking, what was the use of all this? What did we get? We have food to eat, we have clothes, we have houses, there's science, but nothing is conclusive. And then the basic principle questions, why am I on this earth? Is it just to be born and make some money and then die? When such question starts coming into the minds of the people, then this Mahalakshmi principle gets awakened. And and the seeking starts. And they become sadhakas, means seekers. So this principle cannot be forced on anyone. It is something just as innately it starts manifesting. When you try to find what is beyond, after all, what is the purpose of my life? Because you start respecting yourself. Also you see around yourself people who are indulging into pleasures of life, but there is nothing joyful in them. So this kind of thing, that is your atmosphere, you can call, your national life, your family life, everything starts giving you questions. That questioning itself, you see, all the time makes you seek the answers to this. Then you start reading books. You hear from somebody that you can get spiritual training, you go to that place. I mean, you just turn to those things. Now in the West, you see, the biggest problem was Christianity. Because Christianity, what Christ gave to people, was completely twisted by Paul. And he got a very nice platform for himself. He was a bureaucrat. So he wanted to jump on the platform. He was not a disciple of Christ, he had never met Christ, nothing of the kind. And he thought the weakest disciple of Christ is Peter. Christ has said that a Satan will take over you. So he edited the Bible, and in that he put it that Christ told Peter, is absolute falsehood, that you will form your church. That's how Christianity started. And there are so many things he brought in. For example, he didn't want anything to be mentioned about Christ's mother, about Madonna, or about the primordial mother. So when with this Mahalakshmi principle, people went to Christianity and found that it was absurd. They had no answers. They didn't know what was Holy Ghost. To such a limit that there was one pope, I've read recently, who was asked, supposing you make somebody a saint after his death, then does he feel the divinity just when you make it in the grave? So this Pope said, yes, of course. As soon as we make him the saint in the church, he can feel it in the grave. Then the second Pope which came in, he said, no, it's not true. Even if you make them the saint, they have to wait for the last judgment. And at that time, all these dead bodies will come out. And they will feel the divine. By that time only the bones will be there in the. So the idea of reincarnation also they did not accept. The worst was the idea that there is a original sin. In this puja this time, I told them about the original sin. I don't know how many of you were there for this puja. This last puja.
En el último puja, Madre nos ha hablado del... sí, en el Navaratri puja, there was only one person, Fernando, y nos habló del pecado original.
So I'll tell you what happened really. That all the animals are called as Pashu, means they are under the complete control of God Almighty. And they have no awareness. So, idea of the father was to make human beings alright, who would not look like animals, but who would be completely under his control. Because it's a headache, to give freedom to your children. But the primordial mother thought that this is not all right. The children must know the knowledge. So she became the snake and told them that you better eat the fruit of knowledge. Otherwise, if she had not told, we would have been less like animals. By that, human beings got their freedom. Of course, they make mistakes. They have made lots of mistakes in their choices. Doesn't matter. But they all can get their realization. So this is the culmination of that desire of the primordial mother, that people should get their self-realization and they should know everything. That is how you are all Sahajogis now. But if this had not come into your head that there is no answer to many questions in Christianity or in any religion, you would not have taken to Mahalakshmi principle. And the Mahalakshmi principle, which started manifesting in you, you started seeking. This principle was very active from the last 50 years, I should say. And a new era started. That is the Kali Yuga, and now it is the Kruta Yuga. Means this all-pervading power of divine love, which is the power of the primordial mother, became active simultaneously with the people who suddenly became aware that they have to seek, so many of them. So this Kruta Yuga has started, and it is doing many things which were never done in any incarnation. The first thing is, during this time, everybody will get their karma phalas, means whatever they have done wrong, they'll have to pay for it.
La primera cosa que está sucediendo y que va a suceder es que el karma
phala. Phala means the fruit. Only through self-realization the karma phalas can be completely finished. So now we have collective also karma phalas. See now, for example, so many Americans killed the poor, simple people who were in America, like Red Indians. And these poor things, they are completely destroyed, devastated. They could not fight the guns of the white-skinned Anglo-Saxons and the Spanish. So, as a result of that, some of them just ran up to the hills like Bolivia and all these places, hid there. So now in Bolivia, they have discovered this drug. And this drug is now coming to America and people are dying. They have to pay for their sins. Why Americans are so fond of these drugs? Why are they smuggling so much drug? And why of all the things from Bolivia it is coming? Because they are paying for their sins. Also the drugs are coming mainly to Spain to begin with, and they are distributed from here all over. Like that, all these karma phalas are to be paid for, whether it is collective or individual. Like now Indians, we had these English people. For 300 years they stayed in our country. They came without any visa, without And now if any Indian goes without a visa, they arrest him. And they divided our country into 3 parts. But now their country is divided into 4 parts. Every day there is a bomb scare. And they don't know how to manage these 4 countries which are saying that we are not English. One has to pay. Very surprisingly, they were very, very insensitive people who came to India because they never bothered to find out about spirituality. Doesn't matter. Now, one has to face it. In the same way, our individual karma phalas also will have to pay now. You see, AIDS are coming. 65% people are supposed to be nervous wrecks in America. You see so many divorces and the way the society is ruined, the way the women have become so funny. It's very, very sad that all these beautiful people have taken to a destructive life. They are taking to destruction. Nobody tells them, but they just, if they see this is the best way you can destroy yourself, they do it. If anybody gets some money, he'll immediately go to a pub. Or else he might buy drugs. Or he may start the business of drug. So all the time they are thinking of how to destroy your body. They will take to smoking, or to drinking, or to drug, and all such destructive things. In Spain, before this, people used to, even now, kill a bull. Now they are killing themselves by taking all these nonsensical things and running after all these nonsensical things. They are killing themselves. By leading an immoral life, they are destroying their own children, their own family, their own wives. So, why do they take to all these destructive things? They see somebody who is going to the pub and comes out and he falls down. Again they go and pay money to become like him. Again you come out and fall down. They don't even think that we are paying money for this nonsense. So this is a sort of a reaction, I would say, a karma phalas, that whatever sins they have committed are coming to them. They try to destroy other countries, so now they are destroying themselves. Like I went to China, sitting next to the Prime Minister's wife. She asked me, what about the English? How are they? I said, they are all right. But what about drugs? She said. I said, that is too much, because in the south of London, there are children of 12 years who are 2,000 who are taking drugs at that time. Then I am quite happy, very good, because they drugged us. Now let them all have drug and nicely sleep off. And it's really speaking, this overactive English now have become extremely lethargic and lousy. So when you see all this, then suddenly you start thinking, I don't want to be a part of this society. It's something funny. So then you take to say anti-culture, like the hippies did. But that was very superficial. It was just a way how to dominate others. They said they were primitive, becoming primitive, but their brains were modern. So then we come to a point where we understand that all this kind of hypocritical behavior is of no use. Because whatever you may try, whatever you may accept, unless and until you feel that joy within yourself, you are seeking still. So as it is, you are here because there was Mahalakshmi principle which was awakened. Also, you are here because you are Sajogis. And thus now, you have powers to raise the Kundalini of others, to give realization to others, to cure people. And you have self-knowledge. You know everything about your own centers also. But we must understand how to keep our Mahalakshmi principle intact. The first thing is that we get our realization so easily that we don't understand the value of it. How tremendous it is, how glorifying it is. But supposing if I had asked you to go on the Himalayas, fast for 1 month, and then die,
नमस्तेस्तु महामाये श्रीपीठे सुरपूजिते शङ्खचक्र गदाहस्ते महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गरुडारूढे कोल्हासुरभयङ्करी सर्वपापहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते सर्वज्ञे सर्ववरदे सर्वदुष्टाभयङ्करी सर्वदुःखहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते सिद्धिबुद्धिप्रदे देवी भक्तिमुक्तिप्रदायिनी मन्त्रमूर्ते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते आद्यन्तरहिते देवी आद्यशक्ति महेश्वरी योगजे योगसम्भूते महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते स्थूल सूक्ष्म महारौद्रे महाशक्ति महोदरे महापाप हरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते पद्मासनस्थिते देवी परब्रह्मस्वरूपिणी परमेशी जगन्माता महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते श्वेताम्बरधरे देवी नानालङ्कारभूषिते जगत्स्थिते जगन्मातः महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते महालक्ष्मी अष्टकं स्तोत्रम् यः पठेत् भक्तिमान् नरः सर्वसिद्धिमवाप्नोति राज्यं प्राप्नोति सर्वदा एककालं पठे नित्यं महापापविनाशनम् द्विकालं यः पठे नित्यं धनधान्यसमन्वितः त्रिकालं यः पठे नित्यं महाशत्रुविनाशनम् महालक्ष्मीर्भवे नित्यं प्रसन्ना वरदा शुभा साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला
By now, everyone's attention is in the Sahasrara. Shri Mataji has taken us at her lotus feet in the Sahasrara. As said earlier, let us try to go to the Ardha Bindu, about 6 to 8 inches above the Sahasrara. Those who can do this, or rather those who can allow this to happen spontaneously, easily, please do it. Otherwise, you can remain in the Sahasrara itself. Let's try and keep our attention in the Ardha Bindu, the moon, for a few moments. Very slowly, let us rise for the Aarti, followed by the 3 Mahamantras. Jai Shri Mataji.
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने लिए अवतार माँ, कितने लिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा। तू गंगा यमुना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको माँ, सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ। लौट के ना जाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियाला माँ, कर दिया उजियाला। कलियुग में माया है, कलियुग में माया है। फिर भी पहचाना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल चरणों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर दुख से दूर करना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधुर संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधुर संगीत सुन लो। हो सके जो सेवा, हो सके जो सेवा हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कलकी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कलकी साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो
Shakti Mata Shri Nirmala Devi Ki Jai. Let us bow down and sit in silent meditation for a little while. Let us keep our attention in the Sahasrara as we listen to this rendition of Mother, I Adore You.
Mother, I adore you. All my life I give you. How I love you. Mother, I adore you. All my life I give
Let us humbly thank Shri Mataji for this evening's meditation. Thank you, Shri Mataji, for loving us, blessing us, and saving us. Shri Mataji, we humbly ask for this Sahaja Sangha and other Sangha to be granted such opportunities again and again. Shri Mataji, may we exist to please you. Please make us a part and parcel of your divine vision for humanity. Thank you, Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji. Let us all bow down to Param Puja Shri Mataji, raise our Kundalini and give ourselves bandhans. Jai Shri Mataji.
Thank you, Sister Nina, for the lovely session today.
Thank you, Maheshwari.
You're most welcome. So I'd just like to convey our thanks to you and to your family. I'm very pleased to say that, your daughter-in-law, Kiona, is a very beautiful soul. She was my roommate in Nagpur Academy, and I'll never forget her because she entertains us with lovely music, including her family singing Om Bu Bua. We kept this song specifically to play during your session, and coincidentally, you also wanted that song. So it is all Sri Mataji's doing that, she fulfilled our desire together. And we would like to ask you a little bit about your experience in Sage Yoga, so that the young and the new blood in Sage Yoga, they can learn something from you, from your experience as a teacher, as a principal, how you can help to elevate their interest and faith in Sri Mataji. And also, we have a video for you, specially done for you in 1 hour before the session started. I'd like to thank the US, especially Grace Wong and her family. We just 1 hour before the session, we was scrambling along with Anupam from Chennai and Durga, and also Sean Pang.
Oh, I just
Abhi.
I just see all these faces now before my eyes.
So they were, I was wanting to ask them to speak to you, but most of them are too late for them. It's past midnight and they're working. And it was very kind of Grace to do this video in a short time. Hope you like it. We could have done better, but because I gave them too short a notice, it was a spontaneous decision to make this video for you.
I'm pretty overwhelmed as it is.
Yeah, I will. We will play that video shortly after your interview, a little bit.
Okay.
And I would also like to thank Brother Vivek Nalaya for his effort in the IT section. He's been working overnight with us also all throughout. He's been very, very helpful, despite his busy schedule and all that. He's able to, travel from his office from one state to another to come and help us do this session with us. So our gratitude also to Brother Vivek Nalaya from Seremban. So maybe you can now share your views, your experience, and you've been blessed by Sri Mataji to be the principal. I'm sure there was a reason why Sri Mataji selected you to, and the students have a lot of memories back in Ramshala. So maybe you can share with them, share with all of us.
So first of all, I'd like to remember all the students and all the parents that were associated with the school, ISPS, very special school, and to have worked with them, to have been with them, to have shared so many experiences with them. So first of all, a very, very nice greeting, heartfelt greeting to all my past students and parents of ISPS. And then about Sahaja Yoga, I think perhaps the earliest seeking was during my childhood, when I asked myself questions which, like, Sri Mataji mentioned that why was I born, or why in India, and why not somewhere else, and why to these parents, and so on and so forth, which were never answered. And therefore, I looked for temples or churches. I went to a Christian school and a Christian college, or by reading the Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavad Puran, but never found my answers. Then during my younger days, we lived in Thailand for nearly 18 years. And that is where we found Sahaja Yoga. First, my husband actually very spontaneously got his realization. There was no collective or center at that time, or no Sahaja Yoga at all at that time in Thailand. This was in the year 1987. And he got a book from his friend in India, The Ascent. And then he tried meditating upon the photograph, which was at the back of the book. And he received his realization very spontaneously, but didn't know how to proceed. It was a wonderful experience for him, although he got scared in the beginning. But he contacted his friend. Those days, there were no mobile phones, there was no internet, and so on and so forth. So he would ask questions, and the answer would come back in maybe 5 or 6 weeks. But that's how he got his realization. And seeing the change in him, I read The Ascent and found it appealing, tried it out, felt very, very peaceful and joyful, but didn't have that same tremendous experience that he had. Anyway,
Sister Nina, is it possible for you to switch on your video? I forgot to inform you just now.
Oh, my video, all right. So you will have to see my toothless face, but never mind. It's okay. All right. So then, so we were in Thailand, and the earliest memories are that of Sahaja Yoga for me, are those from Thailand and Sri Mataji's several visits from 1990 onwards, successively for about 4-5 years. She came to Thailand every year just before she would proceed to Australia. And she gave realization, and we had great fun. We had a wonderful time. We were very, very new in Sahaja Yoga at that time, both my husband and myself. But we had wonderful times with, we had a French yogini, Janine Shresthaputra, and her family. And Sri Mataji had asked them to come to Thailand and start Sahaja Yoga there. And we felt very blessed to be part of that group, which, tried to work out. And with the help of other yogis from other parts of the world coming to Thailand and starting Sahaja Yoga, Sri Mataji would give public programs. So we prepared for the public programs, cooked food for Sri Mataji. That was the first time I had that experience of cooking for Sri Mataji, and it was really joyful and wonderful.
You were talking about Brother Pascal and family, is it?
Yes, that's right. Yes. Pascal's mom was more active during those days. She was the first one, in fact, who came to Thailand. She was asked by Sri Mataji to come to Thailand to start Sahaja Yoga. My husband met up with her at the airport. They both met up with each other, and then they proceeded to plan about how to start preparing for Sri Mataji's visit and public programs out there, and so on and so forth. We had Australian, Swiss, and French people out coming to help with all these preparations later on when Sri Mataji was about to arrive. So we've seen and experienced actually how Sri Mataji worked on the country, the yogis, the very few yogis, a handful of yogis that we had out there at that time. But now apparently the number has grown by leaps and bounds. So that was our earliest darshan, and we were very fortunate to have the Adi Shakti herself, and being able to ask her questions about our lives. But I also remember what kind of foolish, silly questions we asked her at that time. I mean, they were nothing, they were hardly about spirituality. They were more about our personal difficulties and problems. But then, because I think she excused us because we were really innocent about Sahaja Yoga at that point of time. So then after that, we came back to India then and tried to settle down out here. And my next close darshan of Sri Mataji was at Pratishthan. We had a friend who's unfortunately passed away now, Parag Raje. He used to be closely associated with Sri Mataji and her family because he was their accountant. And he happened to stay close to our house. So on 2 occasions, he asked me whether I would volunteer as a cook in Sri Mataji's kitchen. And I said to him in Hindi, Neki or Pooch Pooch. That means you're trying to do me a good deed and you're asking me, should I do this good deed? So, well, then that was a nice opportunity for me to go there. On 2 occasions, I went there. Once was in 1996, and that 1996 was also just before I went to Dharamshala for one academic year. But that was not that Shri Mataji had told me to go there. I had just felt that very, very strong urge to go to Dharamshala. And I was waiting for my children to grow up and finish their education and so on and so forth. And then we went to Dharamshala. 2006, we went there and we spent the whole year. And 2007, I didn't go because the first year that I was there, the cold, it was too cold for us. So 2007, we didn't go. But at the end of 2007, again, we were in Pratishthan, cooking in Shri Mataji's kitchen. And at that time, I got to know that Dharamshala school was looking for a principal. And in fact, I had already got another assignment in Mumbai, and it was in a popular school, but not a very nice school from vibrations or spiritual point of view, but I had accepted it. So anyway, I was all set to join this Mumbai school, but then I came to know that these interviews were going on. So Mrs. Pugalia, who was taking care of Pratishthan at that time, she said, don't go back to Mumbai in a hurry. Please put in your resume. So I got it by email and I handed it over to them. And just before I was about to come back to Mumbai, I had this interview with Sir CP and one of the other trustees. And I was selected and asked to come here. And so I said, well, what about my husband? So they said, he can join you there as well. And then I said, am I to be sure about this? Because I already have this new assignment in another school in Mumbai, which I was about to take up. So he said, Sir CP told me that Dharamshala school is Shri Mataji's pet project. So you have to go there. So I said, okay. And then a few days later, we had the darshan of Shri Mataji. And those days she was not speaking, actually. Those days Shri Mataji was not speaking, but we had a darshan of Shri Mataji. She spoke. She asked me what were my qualifications and experience, and she said, you are well qualified. And then she said very, how do I say, firmly, she said, no, she didn't say firmly to me. She said to me, please go and help the school. In fact, she said some other words in Marathi, which are too humbling for me, so I won't utter them. Anyway, so she told me, please go and help the school, she told me. And then Sir CP mentioned to her, Shri Mataji, that he pointed to my husband and he said, this is her husband, and he was an executive with the Birla Group in Thailand, and so on and so forth. So she looked at him, Shri Mataji stared at him unblinkingly for a few seconds, and then she said very firmly to him, you go too. So then it was really a very humbling experience for both of us. And we said, of course, we bowed down and we said, of course. And that's how we went to Dharamshala and began my tenure as principal there. And I want to say one thing over here. Of course, the children are wonderful. They are wonderful. Even now, wherever they are wonderful. Although I'm not in touch with anyone except when I meet them personally. The reason being I'm not on Facebook. So I don't get to know very often, but I do meet them sometimes in the UK or sometimes here at the health center or whatever. I do meet them. And it's lovely to meet them. And there were very special things about Dharamshala school. Some of those things I might mention. One is that I was instructed right in the beginning by Sir CP, of course, that the first priority is Sahaja Yoga, followed by health and hygiene, food, and then, of course, academics, he added. So my own thoughts, my own principles, my own values about ISPS were that ISPS is Shri Mataji's school. The school has to be the best school in the world, and it's my responsibility to try my best to make that happen. And secondly, the children are Shri Mataji's children. They deserve the best, and it's my responsibility again to try and give them the best in Sahaja Yoga and academics and whatever, to the best of my own ability. I'm not saying I was perfect, or I'm not saying I was ideal or anything like that, but I can definitely say one thing, that I tried my best. And secondly, I would like to say one more thing for a special reason. I would like to say that I was completely and only accountable and responsible to Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji may have been in Kabela or India or anywhere. In fact, at the end of my tenure in ISPS, Shri Mataji was in Nirakar. But I was accountable only to her. Of course, as one works over there, one has to deal with everything in a very practical and pragmatic way with other yogis, yoginis, with other human beings, some of them not even yogis, but most of the time, of course, with yogis. And that is why it was a little bit, okay, for that I have to tell you a little bit. I retired in 2013 because I was meant to go to my children's places, both of them, for almost a year. And so I thought I'd retire. Later on, the school, for 2 years, there was some other management out there, leadership out there. But in 2014, I was again asked to go there, which I had accepted also. But I did not end up going there. And for one thing, I started not feeling very comfortable about it vibrationally. Much later, I mean, just a few years ago, I was made to understand that that particular period of time, the reason that I was uncomfortable was that when I wrote to the parents, with whom I had a wonderful rapport, when I wrote to them that I would be going back in 2014, I did not receive a single response, not a single response. It upset me a little bit, and I couldn't figure out why, because I had always felt that it was family, not like I'm separate from them in any way. So I was a bit upset, and I was wondering why. And a few years later, just a few years ago, I was told that that the parents at that particular point of time felt that I was aligned with someone or the other.
Inaji,
And,
there's it's over some countries. So is
Say that
it
again?
possible? Is it possible that we end here? But before we end, we'll just play the video
Yeah,
for
sure.
you.
Sure.
Tribute, because
I just want
my
to
colleagues.
clarify. I just want to say one sentence. that I always have been, I still am, and I will always be at the lotus feet of Shri Mataji, aligned only to her, accepting only her as my divine mother. That's what I would end up with. Yeah.
Sorry to
Thank
cut
you.
short
Thank
your conversation is being
No problem. No problem. Thanks anyway for listening. Yeah.
video.
Yes.
Vivek and all has to go to work tomorrow morning, so I don't want to delay too much. Yeah.
They gineko, they gineko, they gineko, targata tadim gineko, tadim gineko, tadim gineko, targata tadim gineko, tadim gineko,
Nina, Sean here. Came around class 4. Not sure if you still remember me. Hope you're doing well and good. I just want to thank you and all the staff members and all your hard work doing my time in SPS, taking care of us and allowing us to have a lot of good memories of that place. It was a very memorial place, and I think that without your running and without the staff members, we wouldn't be able to enjoy that place. So I'm looking forward to your meditation sessions and to see you there.
Jai Shri Mataji, this is Anupam. I studied in ISPS from 2012 to 2016, and I remember my experience there when I was in my first year. Miss Neena Talpade was the principal, and I remember like in the early days her speeches were very comforting, because like in the early days I was feeling a bit homesick, and she would quote many things from Shmaji's speeches in her speech, and that made me feel right at home very quickly. I hope we have a great meditation experience today. Thank you.
Jai Shri Mataji, Principal Neena, it's Durga here. Just wanted to thank you so much for being such a great principal and guiding us through such times and almost bringing us up, you know. I am the person I am today because of all the guidance from the teachers in ISPS and everything, and I'm so happy to know that you'll be able to lead this meditation today. I just wanted to thank you for everything, and hope you enjoy meeting the Malaysian Collective. Jai Shri Mataji.
hope you liked it because we did it in a very, very rush. You know, it was a spontaneous decision. So I hope you liked that memories brought back.
Very,
Lots of
very,
beautiful
very
memories.
wonderful. Please send it to me, okay?
Yes, I will. It's in
Yeah,
YouTube. We
Maheshwari?
just uploaded it. Grace has done a wonderful job by editing all those pictures and all that I've
Thank
sent
you,
her.
Grace, and thank you all my students out there. Thank you so much.
Gabby is married,
It's
by the way.
wonderful seeing
Gabby?
you.
Gabriel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So I put his photograph with his son as well.
Lovely, lovely,
Yeah.
lovely. God bless you, each
Yeah.
and every one of you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time.
Thank
And
you.
thank you everyone for spending extra half an hour today. We'll continue with next Tuesday. We'll have another session, beautiful session next week, awaiting you before the Diwali. So looking forward to all your support, continuous support. Jai Shri Mataji, and see you all next week. Jai Shri Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you.